Hey guys, how you all doing? It's a pleasure to see you today, and I'm very excited because today we're going to be talking about how to use mindfulness to help control your pain. We'll talk about what mindfulness is and how it can help you with your chronic pain. Stay tuned.
Hey, I'm Dr. Tim Warren, and with me, of course, is Dr. Steve Taubman, and together we're the Ouch Doctors. And so excited for today's topic. Dr. Steve's going to lead us in an introduction in how to fix our chronic pain using mindfulness. So important because it's a roadmap to not get in the trap of any new additional drugs or doctors or deductibles, and treat our natural, treat ourselves, our mind-body connection, and mindfulness is the way to do that. So Steve, introduce it for us.
Sure. Well, Dr. Tim, thanks so much. This is my very, very favorite topic because it really comes down to our ability to control our own experience. And so we're going to get into that in just a moment.
But first, let's just say that Dr. Steve and I are not your doctors. We're not your therapists. We're here to share some awesome information that you'll need for your mind-body journey into pain relief. But we're not taking the place of your doctors or your professionals. Use us as trusted guides and bring back questions and to your own regular physicians and doctors and go over that with them. We're here just to share this information.
Absolutely. And by the way, folks, if you happen to be watching us on YouTube, which, by the way, we'd like to encourage you to start finding us there on YouTube on the Ouch Doctors new thinking about old pain. We'd love to have you join us over there and become part of our community there. So just click that little red arrow in the bottom right-hand corner if you are seeing us on YouTube. And if you're not, go find us there, and that's a great place to watch the show. And stick around to the very end, because at the very end of today's show, we're going to be sharing with you one big tip, something that you can use leaving here today to help you begin to master your control over your own pain. So let's talk mindfulness, shall we?
Oh, it's a great topic, Steve. I can't wait to hear your input, man.
You know, for many, many years, this has been my area of primary interest because mindfulness has been the thing that has helped me to transform myself, both emotionally and physically. Mindfulness is really, if you were to define it in a very few words, would be saying non-judgmental awareness. Or another way to put it is awareness plus equanimity. And equanimity is a neat word that has the word equal in it. In other words, seeing everything as equal, being able to take an experience you're having and be able to sit back, watch that experience without becoming triggered by it. Well, nothing is more obvious as a trigger than pain, right? When we experience pain, we experience discomfort in our bodies. Our natural inclination is to resist it, to push it away. And one of the things that I've discovered from practicing mindfulness, and we'll talk about some of the ways we do that here today and give you some ways of practicing when you get home, is that in practicing mindfulness, you gradually begin to experience a new way of being in the world. It's really hard to describe. You know, I could only give you signposts along the way, but I can tell you that by practicing the strategies I'm going to share with you today, what I've experienced is a better sense of humor, less pain, less anxiety, a better mood pretty much all the time, or a greater ability to shift myself out of a bad mood when I'm in one. And really importantly, to be able to take situations that used to really aggravate me, whether it was something going on outside of myself or something going on in my own head, and just sort of take a back seat to it, just watch it in a very non-judgmental way, and move through it in a very elegant way, so that if you happen to be somebody who's experienced lots of anger, lots of clashes, lots of conflict in your life, and you start to practice mindfulness, what you'll find is that the moment that you get into that place where conflict used to be an issue, you'll find you go into another default mode where you just sort of step back from it and you check in with yourself and you start to dissipate the energy that was created by that situation, so that now you could enter that situation or re-enter that situation with wisdom, with confidence, and with a sense of humor. And guys, I got to tell you, when you start entering your situations with those attributes, they change, right? You don't need to walk into conflict with a mind that's filled with conflict. If
And
you are.
that's so important, Steve, because, and you mentioned like anger and all those negative emotions there, but those are so important to talk about and to explore in a mindfulness manner, because those are so intertwined with chronic pain. Those are
Absolutely.
exactly the ones, anger and fear and doubt. And one question for you, Dr. Steve. I'm a classic overthinker. Do you think mindfulness will help someone like me who just runs rampant with overthinking? Do you think that's for me?
I don't know. I think it's for everybody but you, but yeah, absolutely. Of course, that is exactly what mindfulness is meant to do, is to tame our minds. I've got to have you really understand that when you tame your mind, your experience of pain changes. And what Dr. Tim says that's so very important is that as you begin to do that and your emotions start to become less compelling, start to take on less power over you, then that's going to change your neurohormone profile and you're going to be less stressed out and you're therefore going to have less pain. So first, you're going to learn to observe the pain you have and make peace with it and have a calm ability to watch the experience you're having without resistance. And then lo and behold, the lack of resistance will then turn around and cause a calming effect on you, which will make you experience less pain, because it is that whole neurological feedback circuit that makes your pain get worse and worse and worse. So I've worked with tons of people teaching mindfulness practices, people with years and years of fibromyalgia, arthritis, pain associated with cancer treatment, you name it. And those people have all had very good success in changing their experience of pain. So let's talk about some strategies. How about that, Tim?
Oh, before we do that, Dr. Steve, I just wanted to shout out to Joshua, who said, "What's up, everyone?" And to Nancy, who's listening, and to Melody, who says, "So awesome how you and I are doing these lives. Love it." So thanks to those guys for being involved. And again, if you have any questions, just jot them right down there. If just jot them right down there, and we'll get to them live as best we can. And if we can't get to them today, we'll get to them tomorrow.
And by the way, guys, the comments that we really like, those comments end up right here underneath me and Tim. So, so thank you, Melody. Thank you, Joshua. Thank you, Nancy, and everybody else who's chiming in here. We love having your commentary. We love your questions. And please, by all means, over the course of this, keep on staying interactive, because the more interactive you are, the more we're able to customize the message to your needs, to your questions, etc. So here's what I want to talk about right now. Everybody's heard of mindfulness. Everybody's got this notion of what mindfulness means. And many people have even come to understand that mindfulness and meditation go hand in hand. Meditation being one of the most powerful ways that you have at your disposal to learn how to, not learn. See, I use the word learn improperly, because when we think of learning, we think about what we're going to add to our head, add to our thinking. But I'm not talking about learning something. I'm talking about practicing something and gaining something. So when you're exercising in the gym and you're using the weights, you're not learning to get strong. You are getting strong, right? You're not learning what weightlifting is. You're literally lifting the weights. And in doing so, there are changes happening to you physiologically. The exact same thing is going to happen for you when you start applying these same principles to exercising your mind, which is basically what mindfulness practice is designed to do. So jumping into the deep end, let's say meditation is probably the core strategy that's available to us to learn how to be mindful. Meditation is something that, I don't know about you, Dr. Tim, but again and again and again, I've had people say this to me. I say, meditation is great. It's going to change your life. They say, well, I tried meditating, but it didn't work for me.
Right. Or they say, I can't do it. It doesn't work for me because I have all these thoughts. And that's the whole point, is to, I'm sure you're going to get to this, is to think the thoughts, observe them, and just place them out of the way. And it takes practice. It's a process. And I'm sure you're going to get into that.
Absolutely. Well, that's what I was going to say. It's very much like the lifting weight concept. So to say I tried meditating, but I couldn't because my mind wandered, is like saying I tried lifting weights, but I couldn't because I had to keep putting them down. Right? You put them down and then you pick them back up again, and then you put them down and you pick them back up. And it's the same with your mind. You have a thought and then you notice it and you bring your mind back, and then it flows away again and you bring your mind back again. And you may do that 1,000 times. And you've got to enter the process of meditation with the attitude that it is push-ups for your mind. It's not necessarily relaxing. Some people have a very peaceful, relaxing meditation experience, but for most of us, it is work.
And Nancy rightly says that mindfulness is more like unlearning than learning. Very well said.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's put that one up there too. All you got to do is pump it up there so everybody could see it. It's a great line. Guys, learning is what we do in our heads. Mindfulness is really what we do in our bodies, right? We got to get out of our head and into our bodies. So in the practice of meditation, as you start to notice whatever your point of focus is, which might be your breathing, or it might be the sensations throughout your body, and you notice your mind has wandered away, you might call that a failure. I call that a success. I say the moment you realize your mind has wandered, hallelujah, because it was probably wandering for about 10 minutes before you finally noticed it. But the moment you noticed it, that's you remembering that your mind belongs here. And that's a moment of success. Every forget is a remember. Every remember is a forget. And so you're constantly going back and forth between your mind wandering and bringing it back, wandering and bringing, we call it bringing the puppy back to the paper, right? That's how you train a dog. Now, why is this so important? Because over time, you're going to begin to direct your attention, direct your awareness into your body, and you'll be able to direct your attention and your awareness to different parts of your body. So you might decide, I'm going to focus my attention on the sensations at the top of my head. And then I'm going to allow my my attention to move to the sensations throughout my face. And then I'll allow it to move down, and I'll start to scan my body. And in scanning my body, I begin to pay close attention patiently and persistently to whatever I feel in those areas of my body, knowing that if I'm in pain, my attention really wants to be wrestled right back to the core of my pain. Yeah, but I'm in pain. I've got to do something about it. Well, that sense of I've got to do something about it is the very thing that you need to overcome. You need to regain power over your own ability to attend to different areas of your body, because then when you bring your attention to your pain, you can choose the way you bring your attention to your pain. Are you bringing your attention there with fear and anxiety and frustration and pushing it out, and which is resistance, and that resistance never produces results. You'll always find that you'll just keep cycling back through the same thoughts, the same emotions, and the same experience of pain. You know what I mean, right? You just keep on thinking, oh, it's really bad, and then it just keeps getting worse. But the mindfulness thing, what it does is it interrupts this. It interrupts the cycle of thought that is creating the resistance and then creating the intensification of your pain. So you're going to start practicing ways of moving your attention where you want to put it. So as I said, I started by jumping into the deep end by talking about meditation, but I'm going to give you a couple easy ways to start.
The shallow end, you mean?
The shallow end. Let's go to the shallow end.
Okay.
The shallow end of the pool are a couple of choices that you can make. One of them is take a walk. You know, Dr. Tim and I do talk about this, and in one of our programs that we're going to be offering you, we have that as one of the exercises is to get out there and walk. But when you're out taking that walk, what we want you to do is not to focus on all the thoughts in your head or on your pain, but we want you to focus on the beauty around you. You see, again, it's you choosing where your attention is being placed. And you'll know going into this that it's going to wander away, but you're going to bring it back again. And over time, you're going to start to develop a greater and greater capacity to direct your attention to the beauty around you. Now, guess what that does? Knocks you down a few pegs, relaxes your consciousness. So just noticing the beauty on your walks, and I don't care if you live in the ugliest place in the world, there's beauty to be found somewhere. So find it and notice it. And in a third strategy, again, more of a shallow end strategy, is what I call cherish the mundane. All right. Every day you're doing mundane tasks. Maybe you're washing the dishes. And we typically try to do those things fast so we can get them over with, so we get on with the more important things. Guess what, guys? Those are the important things, because they're an opportunity for you to quiet this constant noise in your head that's telling you you've got to be thinking about that, and you've got to be thinking about this, and you got to run and do this, and you've got to run and do that, and all the stress that that's creating. And you just say, shh, I'm busy washing the dishes. And all of your focus goes to those dishes. And we say washing one dish is like bathing a cherished child, right? You wash that dish as if it were your favorite child. maybe you only have one favorite. I don't know, but you watch each one with love and reverence and attention, and then you put it aside, and then you do the next one. You don't talk on the phone, you don't watch TV, and you start practicing doing individual things, even things that you would ordinarily think of as boring, with incredible focus and incredible reverence and incredible love. And now, again, I have to reiterate that these practices are not necessarily going to change your quality of pain in the moment. But when you start these practices, much like starting exercise, you become stronger. And that strength will then translate into a remarkable shift in the way you experience pain. So that what will begin to happen is that you'll come to a point, and perhaps quicker than you think, when you feel pain and your quality of noticing has been informed by all this practice you've been doing. So suddenly it's not like, oh, my pain, I can't believe I got that pain again. Suddenly it's like, pain. Interesting. Pain in my hand. I wonder, what can I compare this feeling to? I wonder if I watch that pain, is it going to change or move or migrate? Is it warm? Is it cool? Is it tingly? Is it pressure? How interesting. Is it causing my skin to change color? You become like a scientist watching your own pain from a backstage perspective, very detached. And that quality of noticing pain will have a remarkable impact, not only on the longevity of the pain, but also on the way you're experiencing it while it's there. Some people find that quality of watching pain to almost be, dare I say, pleasant.
Absolutely. And it minimizes. I have yet to have a client who goes through those exercises who it doesn't minimize their pain.
Absolutely.
Fascinating stuff. And it kind of goes back to the trainings that you had given us a little earlier last week. The more you think about it, and you use the pain as one of those thoughts that you place on the shelf, it minimizes. It's a miracle. And the other thing that I was thinking of, Steve, when you were going through that, is that I remember an old adage by the Buddha. People would ask the Buddha, well, what do you do before you get enlightened? Well, the Buddha said, I carry wood. Well, what do you do after you get enlightened? And the Buddha said, well, I carry wood. So I love your exercise of the mundane mindfulness, because we're surrounded by mundane, but it's glorious. And it can be used as part of our exquisite nature of just noticing our own life, how beautiful our own life is, focusing on the beauty, and it's inevitably out there too. So I love that stuff.
Oh, thank you. And I love the way you just said that. You really encapsulated that beautifully. And that notion that we can just take the day-to-day activities and and cherish them, and eventually even cherish the pain, even cherish the experience, and even cherish the reaction to the pain. Oh, I'm having a reaction. Well, that's interesting too. And as you start to do that, it's such a strong foundation for you to stand on, that it's going to help us do the work we do with you as we teach you more tools and more strategies. But it's a really important place to start. So that's our first primer in the area of mindfulness. If we had more time, we'd spend more time on it. But what I'd love to do right now, Dr. Tim, is maybe now that we've already given a few exercises for people to try, the noticing the beauty, or washing each dish with that great reverence, or perhaps you even have the courage to sit down quietly and try actually meditating, and seeing if you could just bring your attention back and get patient with that process. That's a lot for you to be doing for the next 24 hours until we meet again, right? So we do have something we want to share with you that we're very, very excited about. Dr. Tim?
Yeah, let me swap the screen here, and here we go. And we're so excited to present this to everybody. And we just want to flood the world with this information. And we call it your freedom from pain kit. And you just need to go to theouchdoctors.com to get this for free. And we're just so proud of it. And it features 3 major things. We have a pain relief flow chart that we can kind of see right here. So you can study this. There's a lot of different things. It encompasses a lot of the things that we went over last week and we'll go over in the future. So there's the flow chart, and we understand that there's a lot of definitions of terms there that you're going to need to have a little bit more elucidation, let's say, of those. So we provide those definitions of the flowchart terms. And the third thing, which is just so cool about it, it's a 14-day have your pain challenge, which means many people have been able to cut their pain by 50% by following this program for 14 days. How cool is that for you folks at home? And so this is just a great little checklist right here that you can just kind of go day by day with and just win with this particular document. And so we're so happy, so proud to be able to give this out to the chronic pain community to just minimize essentially it's do-it-yourself mind-body pain relief. And we're so happy to put this out there. And again, just go to theouchdoctors.com and you can put your email in and you can just download this on your computer. I recommend that you print it out. I'm kind of an old school guy at 60 years old. I like to print things out and stick it on the wall, man. So that's what we're throwing out there. Steve, anything else you want to say?
Well, what excites me about this program is for years I've had people asking me, what do I do if I'm in pain? What do I do if I'm feeling discomfort? And often we'll just throw a bunch of ideas at people, and you've all been on the receiving end of just a bunch of ideas. But what you don't get often enough is not just what to do, but when to do it. Wake up in the morning, do this, then do this, see how it feels. If this happens, do this. If that happens, do that. So we really want to be, sort of shepherding you through a process and then giving you that 14-day challenge to be able to watch that process and graph the effect of that process over a 14-day period. And we anticipate on average about 50% reduction in pain for you. So really follow that up, find somebody else to do it with. It's always good to have an accountability partner through this. And we'll also send you a few follow-up emails to kind of guide you through the process as well. So again, this is free. All you need to do is just go to theouchdoctors.com and put in your email address, and we'll send it right on over to you, and you're off and running. So,
all right, awesome. And I just want to just put the plug in for tomorrow's show.
Yeah.
And the title of tomorrow's show is going to be How to Be Unbroken. And a lot of times people have labels put on them by well-meaning doctors. You've got arthritis, or you've got a slip disc, or you've got fibromyalgia, or this is due to an old injury from 25 years ago, or you inherited this particular problem. But people forget that they have an incredible ability to heal themselves. They're not broken. You're not broken if you can heal yourself. And we're convinced, Dr. Steve and I, that you can help heal yourself with, and we're providing the tools that need to be doing that. So tomorrow I'm going to teach you how to be unbroken. So
can't wait, Dr. Tim.
Yeah.
So let's just leave you with our final word, which is remember, train your brain.
Lose your pain.
We'll see you next time tomorrow. Bye-bye.